If you want to feel the wind blowing through your hair and see the great city of Nashville at the same time, check out Nashville Scooter Tours. Trekking through the downtown streets to Music Row with Nashville Scooter Tours is safe, eco-friendly, and a whole lot of fun. They use Xenon electric scooters that go 55 miles on a single charge. Find out more by calling 615-290-5563 or book your reservation today at NashvilleScooterTours.com. Jeff Meeks and Chris Austin invite you to watch your favorite sports event at the Batters Box at 43 Hermitage Avenue in Nashville, Tennessee. The Batters Box offers shuttle service to all Titans home games. It's a great place for friends to gather for the game and after the game. So check out the Batters Box Bar and Grill, and thanks again for sponsoring the show.
Microcasting for your city, Talkopolis.
And welcome back, everybody, to our final segment today on Political Soup. Bob Took is with us. Good to have you.
Great to be
here. From Carmichael, as always, I'm Joe Williams, sitting in the middle trying to keep this thing together. And it's been so joyous today because there haven't been any fisticuffs, no crosswords. I'm not sure which one of you I need to be worried about. Final segment today, we're going to talk a little bit about immigration. The Senate Gang of Eight, as they're sometimes called, Republicans, Democrats, got together and say, hey, here's a plan that we think will work, and they put it out there, and the president has come along and brought his own plan.
Well, he hadn't actually announced the plan yet. Right. He says his plan is complete, and he will announce it soon. Now, Bob and I were talking off air here, and my understanding is in Obama's plan, he is saying that illegal immigrants will be covered by Obamacare. And so you've got 10 million or 11 million people that will then be added, some significant percentage added to the Obamacare rolls, which once again the CBO assumed the cost of that would be zero. And so we now know if that's true, it won't be zero. The other question is whether or not Obama actually wants a bill to pass, because I think that becomes a deal breaker.
Well, actually, I think, first of all, it's a good idea to make sure that everybody in this country is insured. So I think it's a good idea, and I don't think just because somebody is an illegal immigrant that they ought to have ready access to our emergency rooms to get their health care at a vastly higher cost to the American taxpayer. I think it's much more sensible to have them insured. So I think the president's plan on having them insured has merit. I do think the president wants this bill to pass, and that's why he held back on his bill to allow the Senate to propose a bill and put a bill together, and they're remarkably similar. There are some differences. One crucial difference is, at least as presently discussed, the Senate bill would hold back some of the access of illegal immigrants to a path to green card status until we have proof of greater border security. The Obama plan would not do that. Frankly, I see those two as not specifically related items, but it doesn't matter. It's moot because Obama is for increasing border security and has increased border security much more than President Bush did. And in fact, 80% fewer border crossings have happened since 2000. So they tackle it differently, but the result's the same. The other thing that the two bills do that is the same is that they do increase or propose to increase visa numbers. They propose to increase the ability of people to get on a track, specifically farm workers. It's interesting how even Senator Rubio recognizes that it is important in this country to welcome those who are already living here, especially those who are youngest, and allow them to get on the path to citizenship. So the two bills the two proposals are very similar, and I think they're salutary. And I believe that the Senate will pass a bill, and the president will support it. And I believe that via Democratic senators, they'll propose some amendments to it. But I think it's incredible how close they are.
The only question I have, and I'll ask this of both of you, because it's a question that I hear constantly from the middle, and that is, guys, what part of illegal do you not get?
The part of 11 million people that cannot be rounded up and sent out of here, nor should they be. And especially younger people, and especially hardworking people, and especially people who have served in our military.
I'll go with that one, and maybe that's a way to get there. But what do you tell the millions of people who are legal aliens? They went through, they did it the right way.
Well, part of the problem with the way the immigration law works now is that we have a very, very small number of people who can become American citizens a year. And if you apply legally for American citizenships, your chances of getting it are 1 in 250. That's what the averages are. But if you want to be at the head of the line, then all you have to do is be a relative of somebody who's already here. So what needs to be done is in fundamental immigration reform, which I don't think we're going to get, fundamental immigration reform. I think we're going to get something that becomes incredibly costly to the taxpayers. I don't think we're going to have border security. Bob is correct that border crossings are down, and the fastest way to reduce border crossings is to have a lousy economy, because then there's not the reason to come here to work because there aren't any jobs. And so Obama's done a great job in 4 years of running a terrible economy, so therefore the immigrants haven't been coming. And a few of them have been leaving, but not many. The simple solution is this: a guest worker permit. You pass the background check, you get a guest worker permit, you can come in, you can stay for as long as 2 years, and then you can go home and you can use it back and forth. And then every 2 years you have to re-register and go through another background check to make sure that you haven't committed a crime. Now, that way you get what Bob wants, which is people who want to work hard can come to this country and work hard, and they can come and go. And which is what most immigrants, especially the illegal ones from Mexico, they come in here illegally because they're looking for work, and there's nothing wrong with that. Then they won't go back because they're scared they won't be able to get back in. So the guest worker permit solves that problem. My big problem with the way that the Democrats and Obama is approaching it is that this is going to be a hugely expensive bill. This will add $50 billion a year to our health care entitlement programs, and it becomes an entitlement. The lifetime benefit for a 30-year-old, under Obamacare for an immigrant, illegal immigrant, is $250,000. So what you're doing is you're saying you've gotten to be here illegally, you got here illegally, and we're going to reward you with a health care plan that over the course of your life is worth in subsidies that taxpayers will pay $250,000. And that's just wrong.
And that completely ignores the value of having that immigrant in this country working hard, creating economy, paying taxes. These people are not here doing nothing. They are here working hard, creating businesses. And the bipartisan plan that this Senate group, the Gang of Eight, have proposed recognizes that. It permits workers who've succeeded in the workplace and contributed to their communities to earn green cards, stay here. It's totally inefficient to have people have to come and go and come and go. You talk about expense. We need to encourage people to stay, and both proposals do that, especially with the DREAM Act equivalent proposals in each, where a young person who was born in this country, brought into this country illegally, but born in this, parents came illegally, but the child was born in this country, is an American citizen. That child ought to have a clear path to citizenship, and those who are already here need to have a path based on good education, based on military service. Both of the proposals have that. It's salutary, it's good, it's a way to bring our nation together, I think.
Well, those are the exceptions rather than the rule. Let me just, Bob, I think you said something that you may not have meant, and that is, if you are born here to illegal aliens, you are an American citizen.
Yes.
You already are.
Yeah. Yes.
So you don't need a path to citizenship.
Correct.
You already are an American citizen. Your parents aren't, but you are.
Right.
And I am for allowing anybody who wants to come here to work to come here to work. I'm absolutely for that. What I'm against is the idea that somebody can come here illegally, which they've done. That's fine. They're here. If they want to stay and work and get a guest worker pass, I'm fine with that. But the idea of giving a $250,000 health care lifetime benefit to somebody who is here illegally is simply unaffordable. It is impractical. And what we're going to do, frankly, financially, it won't be many years before our deficits won't be $1 trillion. They'll be $1.5 trillion, $2 trillion, and at some point, it all falls apart.
Flip the coin. What if I decide to go across the border and just don't tell anybody and decide to figure out a way to go to work in Mexico when I get caught? What happens to me?
Well, if you can get a job down there and keep yourself safe, bless you.
Well, but I'm just asking.
I think he said if he sneaks across the border.
Yeah.
I think that's a problem. I think in Mexico, if you sneak across the border and get arrested, if you didn't go into the country with a visa and whatnot, I think you go to prison.
Yeah, somebody just did that.
I
Remember
think
they
you go
went
to
over
prison.
there with a shotgun, got themselves
But
arrested?
he checked in at the checkpoint going across and had the paperwork that authorized him to have the shotgun.
I'll tell you
410.
what, I love
But-
Mexico, and I've got some wonderful Mexican friends, but with the drug war going on down there right now, I think you ought to stay here.
I think I need to stay here too. Tell you what, I will stay here and come back next week for our next edition of Political Soup. Bob Toop, thank you for being here.
Great pleasure.
Mr. Carmichael, as always. Oh, we got it. Thank you. I like that. We'll go both sides here. I'm Joe Williams. Thank you so much. Think we're not having fun? See you next time on Political Soup.